is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Barnetta, and if this is your first time here, I make videos about living simply, positively, and authentically, so if that speaks to you, then please subscribe and become a member of a community that is filled with amazing people, and it just continues to grow. I also hope you've had the most amazing holiday season, and you're ready to welcome in 2018, and since we are coming to the end of 2018, I am also coming to the end of my first year of living minimally, and I wanted to share with you the lessons that I've learned throughout this journey. And I figured if you are just getting into minimalism, or maybe you're partway through your first year, or in general you've been living minimally for a while, this could be a nice source of inspiration and a nice reference point for you to say, hey, I'm not doing so bad, or maybe there's a few other things I have yet to learn while I'm downsizing, or even honestly understand if this is the right path for you in general. My goal with this channel is always to be very real with you guys, so I am not going to just pretend and act like it's been all rays of sunshine this whole year. There have been some real trials I've had to come over. I've made some videos on those, but I just wanted to kind of talk about them again. And then also I have had some big wins with being on a more minimal path. So let's not stall any longer and get right into the lessons that I've learned through a year of living minimally. The first and biggest piece of advice I have for anyone who's just starting out their minimalist journey is to think about the reasons why you're choosing to downsize and do a lot of soul searching. Really think about the things you want to come from getting rid of the excess items in your life, because I promise you, you are going to realize what the most true version of yourself is when you get rid of all of the excess clutter. And that can be both scary and exciting. So before you just dig into things and get rid of all this junk and whatever in your life, think about what you want to come out of this journey and what you want to learn about yourself throughout the way. The biggest mistake you could make is to just get rid of things without really thinking it through, and you could end up with some regrets, which none of us want. So do you want to just simply declutter and have a more open and airy home, or are you looking for something deeper? Do you feel like you've kind of lost your path on life? You're not sure where your focus should be, and if you want to declutter and minimize in order to find that, are you ready for that change? And what other things could you focus on prior to letting go of things that you could regret down the line? And this first lesson leads nicely into the second lesson, which again is that minimalism is more emotional and spiritual than physical. You'll go through a phase where you get rid of a lot of things and you're really fixated on downsizing and decluttering, but once all of the excess clutter is gone and you're left with this happy medium of things that you know you need to keep and things that you might be able to get rid of, but basically you're not decluttering anymore, all you are left with is yourself and that space around you to really do, again, more reflection. And as you continue on this path, you'll only learn more about yourself. The third lesson I learned is that your friends and family are most likely not going to get this at all. I think that in many cases, families will be kind and supportive even if they don't get it, but you might actually face some opposition from family members, especially when you're trying to get rid of old heirlooms that someone has given you, or potentially things that they gave you themselves. A lot of times people mean well when they say, well, are you sure you want to get rid of that? Maybe you should hold on to it for a rainy day or another time. They mean well, but they do not understand what you're trying to understand for yourself throughout this journey. So keep it to yourself, keep it between the people that matter most to you, and just kind of keep it a secret for as long as you can so you can move through this learning process. The fourth lesson I've learned is that you can't expect minimalism to fix everything. It just won't, honestly. It is a tool to get to a certain outcome. It's not the end in and of itself. Minimalism, if anything, will only uncover more of your issues or pain points, to be honest. You'll figure out things that make you tick, things that are your pressure points, things that you really can't let go of. Like I said earlier, it kind of just strips away, again, all of that noise, and you can come to understand who you really are as a person. That's not to say minimalism isn't wonderful, because it absolutely is. It is one of the single best decisions I've ever made in my life to start downsizing. It is just not fixing every single one of my problems, because it really just takes your own choices, your own perseverance, your own courage, the support of your friends and family, and positive decisions to get through any struggles you face along the way. Minimalism is a fantastic tool to uncover the areas in your life that you need to fix, but it is not the end-all be-all panacea that fixes everything. And coming off of that idea that it is not the key to everything, the fifth lesson I've learned, that is, if you are able to understand what you need to fix and have the courage to fix those things and face them head on, it will allow a lot of positivity to come into your life. I made a video a while ago that I'll link to above talking about 10 ways my life changed after choosing minimalism, and I still believe all of those things are true. A few of them are more money, less stress, understanding my personal style, having more time and more creativity, and a few more in addition to that. So watch that video where I talk about that more, and again, understand, like I said, it's not the key to fixing everything, but it is a method to get towards a better version of yourself. The sixth lesson I've learned is that you better be ready to make mistakes. And this means in respect to practicing minimalism in general, you are definitely going to go and buy things that you don't need. You're going to buy things that really you don't love, and you're going to end up giving them away or returning them. You're also going to most likely get rid of things that you will regret, and you might have to repurchase those things to be the most authentic version of yourself. I had a couple videos that I made a while back that I'll link to you above, just talking about the biggest mistakes that I've made and then the dangers of minimalism in a way. It seems like a lot of people resonated with those videos, so rather than going too deep here, I'll just link to them and you can check them out for yourself. But ultimately, you are going to definitely not make a perfect journey out of minimizing. It is not meant to be perfection. Like I've said so many times in the past, it's a learning process, and in learning processes, we definitely always fall down before we learn the real lessons, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up if you have more things than you think you should, if you buy something you don't need, etc. We are all not meant to be perfect. We're meant to be doing the best that we can. And I know you guys will make big waves in 2018 if minimalism is something that you want to bring into your life. The seventh lesson I've learned is how the rush of decluttering goes away after a while. It is truly addicting when you first start minimizing, when you go room by room, closet by closet, hobby by hobby, and you're just like, yep, get rid of it, yep, donate it, yep, sell it. I can't even express the adrenaline rush I get through getting rid of things. That just stops after a while because, like I said, you get to that happy medium where you can't get rid of things anymore. And I think it's a real pivotal moment in any minimalist life or journey when they say, okay, I feel like I have the right amount of things, now what? Like I said, you're left kind of with the things you're keeping and just yourself. So when you hit that wall, I hope that you're able to work through and understand that it's, again, not about the things. You have to keep going, and even when you think you've gotten rid of the things all the things you can, you most likely haven't. I'm still getting rid of things to this day. It's just not in that huge wave of get rid of everything, get the truck, bring it all in huge loads to Goodwill. It's not that kind of downsizing. It does peter out after a while, and it does take a lot of commitment to continually have a bag set up for your donations and to sell and etc. I've made a few videos about donation ideas and how to deal with clutter. I'll link to those above or below wherever I can just to help you out. But yeah, the rush does go away, but that doesn't mean that you're not still a minimalist. Again, if anything, you just learn exactly, like I've said a bunch of times in this video, what makes you tick. The eighth lesson that I've learned comes off of an idea I talked about earlier about how your friends and family might not understand what you're doing. And this is more so with people you're living with. You need to understand that you can't downsize or get rid of their things if they do not want to partake on this minimalist journey with you. I've talked about this in past videos, but I'm definitely blessed with my fiance CJ. He has always been the more organized of the two of us, and in general, he doesn't have a ton of stuff. So it was more so easy for me to downsize with him as my partner, but there were times when I tried to get rid of the things that he had, and like I said, he definitely laid the boundary out and let me know that he didn't want to get rid of that stuff, and that was a learning process for me to not be for lack of a better word, controlling in that way, and to have respect for someone who doesn't want to go on this same exact path as me. So while you're minimizing, definitely don't be sneaky and try to get rid of things that are other people's. be very open. If something's bothering you, talk to them about it and just say, you know, I don't want this thing. Would you ever consider getting rid of it? If they say no, definitely respect that, and then maybe they'll come around later through your good influence if you are getting rid of things and things are going positively. In general, focus on yourself before you focus on others. I think that there's a proverb that says, don't notice the needle in another's eye when you have the wooden beam in your own. I think that's really true for this situation. I definitely still had so much stuff to get rid of, and I was kind of fixating on some of CJ's stuff, which wasn't cool, to be honest. So be respectful, be mindful, and focus on yourself throughout this journey rather than what other people have. The 9th lesson that I've learned is that your holiday, your first holiday when you're minimizing, is gonna be really stressful. And I'm really interested to hear, just because we just got off of the holiday season, or we're kind of still in it, I guess, if you have just started minimalism and if you were super stressed out this holiday season, because last Christmas I was losing my mind trying to tell people, please do not get me anything. I've just gotten rid of so much stuff. I'm feeling great. I don't want to bring on new stuff and then feel bad about not being able to get rid of it because they were gifts that I just got. I will tell you, for having my second Christmas as a minimalist, this Christmas was really wonderful. I felt really great accepting all the gifts that my friends and family gave me. I felt like they really understood what I was going through with this whole minimalism thing. So I would say it's a two-way street when it comes to the holidays and minimalism. Over communicate the things that you do want, make a list if that's better. Also emphasize the things that you don't want. But in addition to that, I think gratitude really comes into play here. And rather than just thinking about me, how you want this journey to be about you and to minimize at your own expense, think about others, think about their love languages. If they love to give gifts, accept those gifts with gratitude. Find a way for them to fit into your life for a little while, and then if you need to let them go, let them go. I think the worst thing you can do is alienate those around you just because you want to do something. People are more important than things, always, and I think that's where some people can lose the sight of minimalism. They focus too much on the things that they don't want, and they could alienate other people in their life, like I said, and that is the most backwards thing in my mind, because it's supposed to be not about the things, but then you can kind of hurt others and push them away trying to not have things. I just don't think that there should be this elitist, for lack of a better word, mindset with minimalism. Just because you're downsizing and others aren't, you're not better than them or anything. You should be accepting of every single person in your life, no matter how many things they have or don't have. And my 10th and final lesson is to keep things practical and never compare yourself to others. So when you're getting rid of stuff, please do not have this all or nothing mindset. I have experienced that in the past with getting rid of things that really made me who I am. I've talked about this quite a few times, but I'm a professional artist and designer, and when I got rid of all of my art supplies, that was really just shutting off a big part of who I am, and definitely the biggest mistake I ever made. So definitely think twice before you get rid of things that you know are the core of who you are, because as soon as you downsize, you are going to have more time for those things. Secondarily, when you see people on YouTube, on social media, whatever, if you're doing a lot of research on minimalism, don't compare yourself to someone who only has 5 shirts or whatever. And I don't want to criticize anyone or make anyone feel bad, but I do think it's a little arbitrary to be counting our things when minimalism is not supposed to be about the things. It's supposed to be about, again, bettering ourselves and understanding who we really are when we don't fixate on things. Because the truth is, someone will always have less than you and someone will always have more than you. And when you start playing that comparison game, you are not going to be happy. And at the end of the day, we all want to be happy, and that's why we use these movements like minimalism to go forward in our happiness. It's not a competition. Minimalism is a tool to bring out the best version of yourself, to share your gifts with the world, to allow other people to understand what true joy looks like. And I wish you all well in 2018. I will definitely be making a video about my goals and hopes for 2018. And with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. Please let me know down below what your lessons of minimalism have been, what you've learned throughout your journey. If you agree or disagree with any of my points, I would love to hear it all down below. Until the next time, remember that there is no one like you. You are loved and you are beautiful inside and out. I will see you all in 2018. Bye!